Hello and welcome to Aberdeen, Scotland for the World Junior Curling Championships 2018. Aberdeen is nicknamed many things, the Granite City, fitting enough for curling, but also the Silver City with the golden sands. A long beach stretches between the Rivers Dee and the Don, although it might still be a bit chilly for a swim just yet. We'll find shelter in Curl Aberdeen, where all the action is taking place. Sweden will play Switzerland in session number 2 in the women's competition.
Would you please play your counter-clockwise last draw?
We'll meet the teams for Switzerland this evening at lead. Amagut playing second stones, Laura Engler. At third for Switzerland, Elena Mattis. And Team Switzerland is skipped by Selina Vichonke.
And the Swedish lineup at lead, it's Fanny Soberg. At second, Almida de Waal. At third, Jenny Weilen. And the skip, Isabel Rana.
Just take a look at the standings and how the teams stack off so far after one session played. You see Sweden picking up a win. Switzerland lost their first game. They'll be looking to bounce back with a win tonight. Always tough to start off with 2 losses in the competition. 9 games to be played in total with 10 teams. 4 of the teams making it through to the playoffs. And these are the other games on this evening in Curl Aberdeen.
Men känner du en dragning eller så? Visst, de kommer inte bli bättre. Jag tänker att tvinga på dem och detta i första är kanske skitbra. Ja, jag kan tänka mig en center. Om vi får den nära är det inte bra. Då har vi liksom möjligheter och att det kallar vilket.
Sweden with their final preparations. We see coaches Margareta Sigfridsson and Alison Griazek on the bench for Sweden. Lots of experience for them. Both teams have had their practice, their draw shot challenge.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Jeg blir ikke fra kanskje løper Atie.
Always the same ones.
Kanskje Atie.
Altså Atie?
Ja, ja. Nei, jeg tror vi kan ingen tanklenkrem.
Vi tar så.
Nei, da går to. Da er ikke galt, da må du.
We don't even have money to have more clothes or jackets or whatever. Yeah. We get one jacket, like one jacket.
Ska vi ha någon kommunikations... Var det säga någonting bara? Kanske. Eller vill du säga till om vi ska ta den?
Ja, jag säger till om vi tar den, annars har
ja.
inte.
Ja, nu är det ingen som kan svenska. Lotta, vad var det som var med den?
Ja, men den skar 2 gånger och så gick den konstigt.
As we are just waiting for the final ice preparations, the team talking over some valuable information before the game starts, talking about the stones. You would see the alternate and coach come out in the evenings, try and match the stones. They've done that in practice, try and pick up. There are a few things, a few anomalies. Usually they're quite good. Not like it used to be maybe back in the day. Curling does date back to the 1500s. Certainly the equipment has gone through some big changes over the last 5 centuries. And while the teams are just waiting to get back onto the ice for this 10-end contest. I'll introduce ourselves for this evening. Myself, Sander Ulvåg, and I'm joined by Olympic champion Rona Howie. Good evening.
Good evening. Welcome to cold and snowy Aberdeen.
It's a little bit colder and snowier than usual. It's set tonight's atmosphere for the championship, and for hopefully will bring people into the arena rather than staying out.
Hopefully, it's warmer in here.
You see Jenny Wåhlin in the middle there, just coming off of the Olympic gold medal in Pyeongchang, Korea. Alternate for Anna Hasselborg's team. She'll bring in lots of inspiration and experience. The teams are now ready to get the ball rolling here.
Nein, der wird jetzt gerade rein. Keine Ahnung, was ich da sage, aber jetzt musst du eine Rede halten. Nein, okay. Das machen wir also, liebe Freundin. Ja, einfach gut kommunizieren. So wie morgen. Kommunikation ist wichtig. Unser Gerlingsspielen. Ja.
You see Switzerland playing the red stone. Sweden will throw the yellow. Switzerland outdrawing Sweden in the draw shot challenge in the pre-game practice. They will get the last on advantage for the first end, which means lead player for Sweden, Fanny Sjöberg, will throw the first stone. And Sweden will be looking to put up a center guard here to get some stones in play early on. Sweden, the reigning world champions, will not be afraid to get some offense going here in the first end. And it will be up to lead for Switzerland. Alma Gut to throw the counterclockwise draw in around the center guard. How's the ice been looking so far, Rona? Are we getting enough swing? Is it quick?
Yeah, for the first day, certainly. I think it caught a few players out because it is very quick. It was running about 15.2 hog to hog earlier today, so certainly speedy enough and a nice finish. You can draw around centre guards and corner guards, so that's exactly what players want. So you just hope it stays as swingy as that. It may start to slow down as more games are played on it, but at the moment, certainly, there's no complaints.
Sweden makes the hit roll to the wing. You see Switzerland taking quite a lot of ice for this one, just throwing a controlled takeout. Make sure to stay in the rings here, not leave Sweden a free draw around that centre guard. But this one just moving a bit too much. And I wonder if we've seen that a few times. A little bit of extra swing to the boards.
And I think earlier on in their first game, because all teams were kind of new to the conditions out here, it was finding out whether to play into out or out to in, which is the preferred way.
Almeida the ball. Play the second stones for Sweden. She'll get that free draw in around the centre guard. Just hanging wide for the moment. Lots of room on the guard and doesn't quite have the weight to get out onto that red forfeit circle.
Still useful there though for Sweden.
Laura Engler playing second for Switzerland. Come the other way. Try and find some cover for this one. Big sweep. Trying to carry the stone as far as possible, just going to pull up short. Leaves another centre guard. It's a bit of definitely making things a bit sticky for the Swiss. Staggering the centre guards. Sweden comes around here. It'll be tough to get to.
Okej, fin linje! Bakåt då! Fin linje! Bak 12! Okej, vänta då. Inte drag! Bak 12! Sacka lite bak 4. Känns nästan ut. Nästan ut. Den känns ut på min klocka. Ja. Jag fick 75 på klockan.
This one all the way through the house. So both teams having a few struggles early on with draw weight.
Ifall det är någonting på den.
Den måste säga ja, för det kändes inte så här dåligt. Vi säger det så hon inte fick. Längre skudd. Här. 10.
Both teams have had a 9-minute practice, 3 games, so they should really be quite comfortable with the weight going on in the first end. Doesn't change that much from practice.
Don't you find that sometimes when you're in pre-game practice, you're looking to win the hammer, end up playing just the one path, so you get the out-turn and the in-turn path to the button quite keen, but perhaps maybe the other paths are a bit slower. Yep. Makes it all more tracky.
Yeah, definitely. And that's why in the pre-game practice it is quite important to get right across the sheet and just get a feel for what the ice is doing line-wise and weight-wise.
Well, that was a good draw. And around by Switzerland. So Jenny Wåhlin, third for Sweden. Looking to try and open it up here.
Okay.
Does expose that red stone. He even pushes one yellow in to the house. But for the Swiss, a chance to make a hit and sit 2 here. Lena Mattis.
Oh, she's been curling since she's been 5. Quite a while.
Oh, unfortunate to roll to that spot there. Elena. A bit shorter, a bit further would be good, but that sort of leaves fairly automatic double for Jenny Wåhlin. It is pretty much right on the nose. Get the double. Might even catch it slightly on the inside here. Get the roll in behind the guard. Big weight coming down the centre line. 1-2. There you go. Both reds will go. Keeps the shooter on the wing. Nice hit and stay for Switzerland.
Yeah, important to stay in the head there because Sweden would just use that centre guard to draw around. So keeps play out in the wings.
nolla känns bra.
Ja, det tycker jag blir bra.
Om vi har vilken så tar vi den, men...
Okej, så vilken fart?
Vi har lite nolla. Ja.
Bra fart!
Isabella Verano.
Lite uppåt!
Skip for Team Sweden.
Lite upp.
Bara kalla.
We'll be looking to
Okej, sen.
pick up back-to-back wins at the World Junior Championships.
Ja, bättre.
Had a good start this morning on their first game. Looking to build on that.
Kalla ändå den där.
Yeah, very experienced foursome, played together a while and been very successful.
Vilka fina kodjar man sätter.
Ja, så det ordning samtidigt.
Selina Vichonke. Skip for Switzerland again, just really important to keep the shooter in play here, or in the house rather. Potentially even make the roll in behind cover. That's what they're looking to do. It's not going to roll far enough.
Jag gillar nolla.
Yeah, good effort coming into out to try and get a better roll behind cover, but just not enough.
I'm quite sure we'll see Sweden attempt the same here. Try and make the roll in behind that center guard for Switzerland to score their one. The Swiss do have the option to blank this end, have no score, and retain the advantage of last stone. Definitely seems like they've been around for a while, the Swedish girls. Still just in juniors. Doesn't find any cover, but will at least force Switzerland to come well wide with this hit to blank the end.
Checkar lite. Nej, men jag tror att det blir... Jag vill se några fler åka innan jag...
So we're seeing them playing this on the out turn, Rona. Feels maybe the other way is more natural. Is there any reason?
Yeah, I think the other way does seem the natural hand, just because it's less to run out the house. You don't need to catch the stone by much for your shooter to go. And well, she's rolled the other way, so that's fine.
Yeah, throw the shot you're more comfortable with, I guess. And it's a blank end, no points here in the first end. Switzerland will retain the last stone advantage.
Och stack lite mig. Så du kanske inte ska jämföra den som du gjorde nu?
Nej, det var det jag tänkte nu, att jag inte ska göra det. Okej. Ja, det är bra.
Second end of play. Switzerland playing Sweden. The Swedes will start again, as we had a blank in the first.
Sorry. Lite ut i sliden, sen blev det lite mer. Det är okej.
Switzerland really working this one hard to put up a corner guard. They don't want it too long. They want it closer to the house so that when they draw around it, it's buried.
A different setup in the second end. Sweden coming into the house. Switzerland throwing the corner guard. Definitely wanting to try and score a few here. Did they have the option to play the open hit? Keep it defensive. Corner guard, always a sign of wanting to put 2 points up on the board.
So quite happy to put that one as close or in the house just because their other one is back tee.
Where's that a bad thing to be behind the tee line, Rona?
Yeah, ideally you would rather be top tee just so that the opposition can't come in and freeze on top and kind of kill your end or your setup. So they've still got to make it, but it certainly gives them a bit of an advantage if you have come back tee. However, they're working this one really hard to try and pass the top one. Just a bit light and taps the Swedish stone into the rings.
Okej, vad tror vi här då? Topp 4. Marginalen då? Topp 8 är okej marginal. Ja, jag är lite osäker på fart. Jag tror... Det är 8. Jag tror 0,5. 0,5? Ja, 0 funkar.
We'll get the raw clock up on our screen here. That is the hog line to hog line split time. When I was saying maybe just above the 15-second mark for a T-line draw. This one is 13.8, so you might wonder if it's just a little bit hot for weight. And in the end, they'll actually try and sweep it to bring it a little bit deeper, not to leave too big of a pocket in the back of the forfeit. So running fairly quick.
Yeah, that was a slight error there because they could afford to be shorter and cause problems for Switzerland, but by coming back into the house behind the tee, it allows Switzerland just to draw in and freeze on top.
See if the Swiss can get it right. They're good. They're well known for their timing. And to compare, at the Olympic Games in Pyeongchang, the ice was running usually in around 14.5. So running a bit quicker than the Olympic ice here in Curl Aberdeen. 14.7, that should be pretty close for this one. But maybe the line has a bigger issue here, not really curling enough. In the end, we'll just nibble the button for shot stone.
So by that time and split there, it's slowed down a wee bit since their game earlier on today. As the day goes on, the ice is maybe just getting that wee bit slower. That's where the players need to be on it all the time and keep their eye on all the split times.
Well, very often, if the ice is all too quick at the start of the games, might mean the ice runs all flat at the end. It's all about balancing it out. Trying to keep the ice as uniform and consistent as possible throughout the 10 ends, but also throughout the whole competition. And Sweden now trying to just sneak past this guard and get to the inside of the red. That's very nicely played.
Lovely shot.
He's able to tap that through the house, leave all yellows.
Switzerland now know that they're getting into trouble behind that guard and need to open it up, try and raise their own in or at least open things up.
Well, he's definitely able to shuffle things around here. Leaves 3 yellows.
Sorry.
But they're more or less all behind the tee line.
Nära är bra.
Nära.
Linjen
Här,
viktigast.
okej.
Hålla den i början.
Nära 12.
Yeah, it's opened up the centre
Är det en 15 eller?
for Switzerland when they've got last stone.
25.
Jag försöker sätta den ganska ordentligt, men snacka mycket.
20-25.
Mycket på kolla!
Fanny!
Nej! Bara du måste!
Måste gå för kullen! Hårt Fanny! Hårt! Det var att gå tjejer! Hårt måste tänka någonting! Hårt!
So working this one hard just to get the line across to guard the one. The weight was good, but it's just not guarded the shot in the forefoot.
Som där och så där. Ja.
Here we have a team coach for Switzerland, Sandra Vichonke.
Du får kolla upp mer.
Sitting next to Stefan Meyenberg. Sitting fairly close to the athletes this week,
Very close.
which is nice though. For the coaches, they'll be able to pick up on a bit more of the communication, perhaps. And listen in to the players. As we see Switzerland just taking that guard. Really had to make contact with the yellows in the house. Had a really good chance there. Now leaving Sweden a chance to just place a better guard. As we see Margareta Sigfridsson, 2014 Olympic silver medalist, on the bench for Sweden. Quite a heavy-hitting coach's bench for the Swedes, with Alison Kraviazuk as well. A long-time second player for Rachel Holman.
Yeah, definitely a lot of experience in there to pass on to these young girls.
And they're already reigning world champions in the juniors. The lineup looks a bit intimidating coming in, perhaps. Back guard for Sweden pulls up just a bit short. Definitely leaves some room for Switzerland to come around now, so that is the call. At some point, you don't have enough time to start opening things up. You need to make a move, come into the house. That's what's happening here. Really important for this one not to slip past everything though. They will just slip to the back 8. And that's a big mistake. Seemed to be a bit of a miscommunication there as well between the skipper and the sweepers. Didn't mind having that weight, but just curled enough. Could have played that tap on the shot stone. Didn't have the line. And Sweden with a chance to come around the centre guard again. Looking like trouble.
Yeah, definitely if you're Switzerland at this point when you've got last stone advantage. If Sweden come round here and even half round that guard and block the way in, Switzerland really would have no option but to try and open things up.
Like you heard the last thing Verano said before throwing, is rather leave this short than coming up heavy.
And it's always good to communicate that to the sweepers so that they know exactly what they need to do with it, to look after it. Very nice result there.
Ja, det är så. Alltså så var det med knitshot.
Bit of a miscommunication for Sweden there too. Skipper Isabella wanting that all deeper. The rise to ball, just thinking it needed to curl.
Und so haben wir immer noch geschafft, was du sagst. Also ich habe zwar knapp rechts, aber es könnte gehen.
Ja, jetzt wird es langsam knapp, weil sie ist schon recht viel.
Yeah, so Switzerland have, they're looking at coming round in the other handle now, into this short stone.
Tap oder so.
And this is where, at this early stage in the game, it's really critical that the players and... Oh, they're having another think though. Because just going on to different paths, as you were saying earlier, Xander, that you know, weights can be different, so it's really important to keep that communication up.
And certainly if you make the draw on the intern here, when you don't make it, it might not be even a shot to score on the last one. Maybe playing the hit a little more cautious. At least you will open it up a wee bit.
Definitely a safer option at this stage.
A bit of back and forth here.
Obviously, when she got to the hack, she wasn't too keen on how much she could see of that top stone.
It always looks a bit different from the hack, so it is indeed the first call. Come around on the in-turn. Try and play a tiny tap on the shot stone here. At least get in for second. Hanging out there. Needing to finish quite a lot. He's not going to, just going to snuggle in there for second shot.
Her weight was really pretty good there, just didn't get the line right.
Ja, men gör den.
Ja, här. Vad tror vi om, tror vi det går samma fart på båda sidorna? 13,8 hade jag på
den. Den är tajt den andra.
Ja, oj. Det är ganska trögare. Ja. Men de stoppade inte sig heller. Ner mot då. Så jag tror ändå. Ta lite mer. Där. Ja, faktiskt. Det är ändå, höjer hellre ner.
Alltså vill gärna ligga 2 nu. Vill gärna ligga 2 alltså.
Ja, hennes som är där nu, den var 13,8 på hoggen.
Okej. Men jag
så
tror...
kanske 15.
Ja, okej. 15-10.
Ja.
Sweden, just having seen Switzerland play this very path, try and make the draw themselves, maybe taking a bit less ice. Get right on top of the shot zone here, like two. Could set up nicely for steal. This one is a little bit heavy. Where is this one going to end up? Just all tap on their own shot stone. Does it sit for second? I wonder. I think so.
It's pretty close, but it...
Indeed, if it is second shot, that's a pretty good result for Sweden.
Yeah, it now leaves Switzerland with a very difficult draw through the guards and to get to the 1 foot. It is there, but you've got to get the weight and line spot on here.
Okay. Ich habe recht knapp da, aber das hat schon was.
Ja, ich weiß.
The court itself is pretty big, but considering how much that stone's going to swing, you're going to have to come very tight to that wide corner guard, and then also again very tight to that yellow stone top of the blue 12-foot circle. This would be an incredible draw if it's made. Last stone, second end. Facing what we believe is 2 Swedish counters. It's all about the communication here. Past that corner.
Past it. Is it past the next one?
Indeed.
Yep.
And will it settle down for shot stone? I think it has.
What a shot.
A cracking shot by Selina Vitronke. That's a really good one. It was pretty much made out of hand. Not a lot of sweeping required. Very nicely played. So it is 1-0 for Switzerland after 2 ends of play here in Curl Aberdeen.
Måste börja stå på center. Så det är så här, de där måste fan bara sitta.
Vi får snacka lite högre också så att vi
Men
visste inte riktigt om den behövde curla.
Nej, den behövde curla. Eller ja. Met eer veel poes.
Voor 4 linjen door. In 8. 4. In 8. In 12. In 8. In 12.
Switzerland will start and end for the first time after scoring one. An excellent draw by Selena Witronka, navigating past all the guards onto the button, facing 2 Swedish counters. So 1-0 for the Swiss as they come into the house. And although Sweden is up by 1 here, looks like they're going to play the hit.
Yeah, with that Swiss stone just sliding back tee, I thought Sweden might have called for the corner here to try and generate a 2.
Is this about trying to control the scoreboard already in the 3rd end?
Could be. Maybe he wants to just blank this end and go for 2 in the 4th even end.
And teams very often wanting to control the even ends for a couple of reasons. One, to have the last stone advantage in the final end, the 10th end, but also by blanking the 3rd here and then retaining the last stone advantage. There will be one more even, or more even ends and odd ends, potentially allowing yourself to score one more time than your opponent, but generally speaking, it's quite early to be thinking in those terms, seeing how there's a good chance we'll have another blank or maybe even a steal in the game. Not very often you see teams score with the hammer all the way through a game.
I know. Well, that's textbook curling, isn't it? Score 2, 4, 6, 8 and 10. Very nice. But how often does it actually happen?
Well, it's a lot of teams, the Olympic Games recently, play very to that on the scoreboard. It's becoming more and more a thing, more and more early on, it seems. So Sweden very happy to blank then here. Also, another advantage here is banking some clock by not really having to think about their shots in this end. They'll save on some thinking time, which I don't believe is generally a big issue for Sweden.
Sorry.
It's always nice to not have to think too much about your time.
Yeah, they've got 38 minutes to play their 10 ends. Or 38 minutes of thinking time to play their 10 ends, so they have got plenty time per end.
We'll see Switzerland now trying to counteract the Swedish tactics by throwing a centre guard. They really want to force Sweden to take a single point here, so Switzerland can get the last stone advantage back in their hands. Now, all of a sudden, a very cautious, defensive approach by Sweden. Instead of just peeling the centre guard, they'll actually try and play a hit and roll, leave a corner guard.
Which is an interesting call when they didn't want the corner guard with their lead stones. So it's kind of changed that tactic quite quickly in the end.
Does it seem inconsistent?
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, I think I agree.
She's played it.
It's very nicely played.
But they could have actually put that up with their lead stone. So yeah, interesting.
Well, the thought here is leave a corner guard. There's no Swiss stones in the house, so there's no risk at all. The only risk, though, playing that shot was to catch that on the nose, leave a centre guard for Switzerland, but plays it nicely. Switzerland will look to hit and run. And if they leave the red stone, Sweden could come around and try and set up for two, but it will make its way out and touch the boards.
Ganska långt. Bra bak. 10 bak 4. Lite lång. Bak 4. Vänta. 10 bak 4. Vänta. Helst inte. Se jättelång ut på klockan. Bra nu. Tacka lite. Ganska bra. Jenny. Topp 4. Jenny, gå. Topp 4. Dra ut den.
So just drawing out to the wing.
Mera. 14:40. Ja. Bra koll, tjej.
Why draw the wing, not the button?
Really, just Sweden now have accepted this potentially is going to be a blank end, so the closer they are to the boards at the side, the less distance they have to run to blank it. But that's assuming every stone's nosed from now till the end.
I guess also if you do get a complete miss from Switzerland, then you could be able to draw the other wing and have lots of separation. We don't really expect them to miss the stone completely, though.
No, you don't.
We would expect them to at least make contact on an open hit. Sometimes in ends like this, you'll see a mishap. Usually just a lack of focus sometimes. Can catch you out.
Yeah, sometimes when there's more stones in play and there's more thinking to be done, you do actually focus that wee bit harder than when it's an open head. So slight error there that they hit and ran out, but not a major calamity.
Englisch gut. Wie viel?
4-2.
Gesundheit.
Gut. Trea. Nej! Aldrig!
Jenny Wåhlin might quite possibly be the only Olympic gold medalist to play in the World Junior Championships. I can't really think of anyone else.
No, I think you're right, Xander. The only junior to come to a championship with an Olympic gold medal. And I'm sure she's still on a high and buzzing from last week in Pyeongchang. And the experience that she's gained from being part of Anna Hasselberg's team, just learning about, you know, approaching championships and how to get the best from practice. And she'll have been on at night matching stones for them. So really great experience for a young player to be involved in that. And also even better to win a gold medal at the end of it.
I'm sure she was quite keen to get on the ice and play games herself, though, again.
Yeah, definitely. It's a long week sitting on the bench.
It's almost 2 weeks at the Olympic Games with the schedule. Now a chance to get back on the ice, play games.
And even just getting over the jet lag and these kind of issues as well, to go home and then less than a week and she's flying to Scotland in the snow. Or trying to fly into Scotland in the snow.
I'm sure the Olympic Games were a huge inspiration to all the players in the field here at the World Juniors.
And Isabel Rana herself, her brother was obviously playing, part of Nicholas Edin's team, who won silver. So yeah, a lot of incentive out there, I think, for these youngsters to watch the level of curling throughout the 10 days to a fortnight. It's very inspiring, especially mixed doubles coming in now as well. So just exchanging the nose hits. We've just got to the other side of the house now, so again we're at the edge, so not so far to blank the end.
In the first, you saw Vichonke playing from the inside and out to peel and blank, and very similar shot. Isabella Verano is going the other way.
And that's probably personal preference to the way the ice is playing as well.
Last stone, third end. Big push there, big extension from Verano.
Huge extension,
Well,
but does the job.
no problems there. It'll be another blank end. 2 blanks and 3 goes so far. Switzerland with that 1 point. They lead it 1-0 after 3 ends of play. Switzerland will be looking through a centre guard this time. Forced to play a little bit. Even though Switzerland are 1 up in this game. Sweden ran a very defensive tactic in the third end. Good start to the week by Fanny. Throwing 88%. Now looking to come around the centre guard. Sometimes you see a team maybe throw a corner guard even though the opponent has thrown the centre. But very often you'll see teams not really use it. And sometimes I just want to come around that centre guard first, try and take control. You don't need that many stones in play to score your 2.
No, and I think if you come round top tee, you're certainly putting the pressure back on the opposition.
Good. Well, look to come around. Probably try and lock right onto the ill. But this one looking a bit wide, might try and come around instead. Trying to switch it up here. To get Engler to maybe finish it off, get some more curl at the end. Does end up in a nice spot, fully buried. Lots of nice swing in there.
Mycket fokus hur du sätter nu. Ja, så att det blir samma. Det blir bra. Tani!
Some feedback from the skip there. From Verano telling her lead to just focus a little bit more on the way you're throwing. Apparently seeing a bit of an inconsistency in the throws. Not able to quite get the same line. That second shot just under curling.
Sorry, I touched this one. I'm sorry. I think I put it. Is it double?
Okay, yeah, I don't know.
So Swiss sweeper just saying there to Isabella Rana that I touched it, but she didn't think it made any difference to the
Måste gå från det
positioning
hållet.
of
Går
it. She
det?
literally
Eller ska vi bara
just
lira
touched
den?
it. Didn't move it.
Vilken?
Trea! Jag tror vi lirar den istället, eller så jävligt tunn. Du måste smita.
Ja. Ja. Vilken fart? Det är en trea.
Trea!
Yes, trea.
Trea!
Ja.
Looking to play the double, but changed her mind here. Just looking for the hit and roll. Seeing how the double is fairly thin.
Nej, sorry. Bra. Bra.
You can hear Verano just apologising for the line call there. Didn't need to sweep that one, actually needed to curl a bit more. Leaves the Swiss with the same chance to make that hit and roll in. Hit and roll is pretty key shot in curling. It's like you're doing two things with one stone. It's a draw and removing an opponent's stone in the same go, really.
Yeah, if you can get that perfect roll, it can really kill an end at times. They've just hit it on the nose as well, so it's obviously not curling there as much as they had anticipated it would. But it doesn't leave an easy double, so it does leave Sweden a chance to hit and roll. But sometimes you'll see when there isn't that curl at the end, teams will drop their weight and just play more of a hack weight to try and get the finish to get the roll. Because if you can get that roll, it's such a key shot at the right time to be able to kill your end or build up your two. No sweeping here.
Okay.
A wee bit of a roll, but just not as much as they were hoping for.
Makes the inside roll for Switzerland much harder. About edge to the edge, or even an inch buried around that centre guard. See Vichonka tapping the back line, telling Elena Mattis just to throw just enough weight. Just punch the stone through the house. Really can't afford to hit this on the high side here. Could potentially run it back onto your shot stone, and she will just do that. Not quite the tolerance.
Changes the end completely because Switzerland had that kind of control in the forefoot there, guarded. So now all of a sudden when Sweden have got last stone advantage, they've got one behind a guard, also got one in the back ring, so you could try and generate a couple at this end.
Ja, viktigt med chappen.
Bara chappen, Jenny!
Ja. Vad sa hon? Sa hon två eller tre? Tvåa sa hon. Ja.
So Sweden here thinking if they can nose this back when they would lie 2. Germany's good 75% in the tournament so far, so pretty steady. Really needed to stay in the house there.
Så vi ska gå på 3:orna.
Jag tyckte det kändes det.
Okej.
Finner du det? Men vem är sågen? Det macht je einfach da. Ja. Hände 4 in den 8. Okay.
Hände 4. Länge cirkel knap.
Die Leine 4. Ja.
So Switzerland just looking really to tap their own red further up into the forefoot here. Sweepers are having to work this really hard to get it past the guard. Then taps it out into the open. The weight wasn't too bad, but just tight of line. So we're back to the same spot, Sander, that they've all tried to hit and roll. Sweden would really like a hit and roll here. One saying whoa, one saying sweep, so have they got the roll? Yes.
Well, that's very often the case. You're often on the sweeping all the way down. It's generally very close. It's pretty much perfect by Wallin and team.
Weren't bothered that they were jamming the back. It was more important what the shooter was doing. He's happy with that one. Switzerland need to be careful now. They don't have last stone here. Sweden sitting well.
Ja, det så vid så en freestyle. Alltså jag vet inte när man lite av.
Ja, gell, falsch. Können wir bis dahinter, weißt du?
Ja. Ja.
Ja, so braucht er schon, oder?
Ja.
Das ist schwieriger.
Ach, ein Hörli weniger. Elli, ein bisschen weniger.
Sweden's yellows are really in a very good place there. Switzerland are going to have to try and draw right round all of the front stones.
Is okay. Good.
So 92% so far for Selena, so a good start to the tournament.
Well, if you have kept playing in the 90s, that should win you a few games.
Yep, definitely. So can she draw right round all of these?
Definitely working this one.
Line's good if she's got the weight. Just needed a wee bit more running to try and bury at the end there.
Man ser nästan hela, så jag kan gilla uttrycken.
Vill du gå med en 3 då? Va? Är det gått med 3 då?
And we'll sit fairly in the open for Sweden. Perhaps chase. Play the hit and roll. This is where you probably either want to come pretty much right to the nose or try and roll as far as you can and still sit free. If you only roll the foot to towards the wing, you might leave a fairly automatic double and then off for Switzerland. Potentially to be buried as well, so if you And it's a pretty bad slide coming out from Vernon, not looking too amused with it.
Grimaced look on her face as she was coming out there.
Might be even better, almost rolling out here, and just rolling halfway. In the end, isn't even in the worst spot. Would have been better to just left it probably and caught the nose.
Nej! Jag
Having a bit of a chuckle.
Laughing about her slide now.
Gå inte med munnerspelet.
But it's not a bad result, but it does
Nej, med munnerspelet nu.
give Switzerland that opportunity now to catch the inside of that.
Ja, då kan vi så.
Pretty thin. You have to come pretty close to that top yellow to make it.
Even if she rolls in for second shot,
Wahrscheinlich haben wir vorne an.
it would be better
Je
than
nachdem, aber ich meine,
losing
wir
it.
spielen so oder so den. Ich sehe keine anderen. 10. Würde doch ein bisschen weniger Geld, das ist gut.
Also willst du überall?
Gegen ihn, ja.
Nein, ich denke schon gut. Am Schluss kommt es recht.
Okay. Gut.
Pulling.
We'll actually catch the top yellow there. Leaves Sweden sitting 2 and a draw to score 3.
Du kollar upp mer, jag håller i den om det behövs. Vi är med på...
Yep, just tight of line there.
Då ber vi om styrning.
Just to give the sweepers a chance to hold it.
Tror vi. Ni tror inte 15?
Nej. Jag tror att det går som förra matchen. Ja.
Ja.
Hey, great chance for Sweden to break open the game here.
Kalle, här eller?
So important to make these shots. Not the toughest one. But for an extra point.
Yep, as we say, the bread and butter shots. The draws and the open hits.
Bra fart, Kerstin.
Last one of the fourth then for Sweden. Just drawing the forfeit to score 3 here. And then in the game, there's only been a single point scored. I feel like a 3 is going to stand out. As this one will just settle in time in the back 8. That is a score 3 for Sweden. Big end. It's a 3-1 lead. 4 ends of play here, Sweden, Switzerland.
Ja, du såg så ledsen ut. Jag bara...
Ja, jag var nej, jag är hårt. Ja, men
Bra.
ja, men öka lite ändå tror jag.
Jag tror också
men,
det.
Det är bra.
Jag tror att vi hade mycket mer för den omgången.
Ingen putt.
Linje kort, måste gå. Tom.
Bra linje! Bra linje! Hela vägen. Så nära vi kan då. Kom igen.
3-1 lead for Sweden. Scoring 3 in the fourth end. I'll throw a center guard here in the fifth.
Det gick lite konstigt i linje också.
One more end to play before halftime in this 10-end contest. Switzerland would love to score a couple points back here, tie the game.
Nej, T-line. På det fel. T-line. Bäst
Quite happy to come around the centre guard here. No need to come too deep. No need to come all the way down onto that Curl Aberdeen logo. That's a pretty good spot there. Top of the 8 foot. Come all the way down onto the tee line. You know, Sweden's just going to come right on top of you and take away the scoring area. So keeping it a bit high is perfect, but this one's actually over curled a little bit, so Sweden has a chance. Come on the out turn. Make the hit and stick.
Nej. På röd sen, på röd. Det är lugnt. Fort! Vadå dämpad?
Vad sa du?
Vad var det för den?
40 till 50. Alltså jag klockan 6.
Jag skulle ju ha en 6:a.
Jag klockan 6.
Ja men alltså.
Länge skjuts igen.
Bit of a communication error for the Swedes there. Didn't seem like the weight that was indicated by the skip really made it way down onto the front end.
Another really nice stone from Switzerland.
Okej.
Eller den.
Jag gillar den. Eller draget.
It is quite a long guard, so it is quite easy to come round it, just a tap back weight and get the finish and tap them back.
That's why it's so important for Switzerland to sit that high up in the house. There's less of distance between the shot stone and the guard, making this a little tougher. Also needing to tap it a bit farther. Almost at the top of the house. Needing to catch a big chunk of this red stone. Sounds like they're pretty much in control all the way down here. Just squeaking past the guard. Makes that look very easy. Almeida the ball.
And this is where, you know, Switzerland are 3 down. They could actually use that yellow stone to their advantage and draw right round the other side and try and put some pressure onto Sweden. But they're maybe thinking now, do we just blank this end and go into 6? But, you know, when you're 3 down, you need to score. Or you're 3-1 down, you've lost a 3, so... Oh. Plan B.
Actually nicked that guard, but so thin, still made contact with the stone in the house.
Slithered off the guard.
Leaves a chance for Sweden though. Come around that centre.
Bra linje! Bra fart! Känns tid! Jenny! 4
Falling on Jenny Wåhlin. Try and keep the line.
Just for that long guard, it just over curls and come out to the other side.
Jag tycker det är så jävla svårt att höra.
The phrase directional sweeping has become a thing in the last couple of years in curling. We've just really started to figure out what the sweeping really does after all this time.
After all these years, I screamed at my sweepers to sweep.
Well, I think still the pure physics of heating the ice surface, decreasing the friction is still there. Makes the stones carry a bit farther and curl less, but really the scores of these that you make in the ice with the pants, just very small scratches making the ice. Directional scratches, if you sweep against the grain, so to speak, you make the stone curl a bit less. And if you go the other way, you might try and get some extra finish on the stones. You had some more than abrasive fabrics earlier were too effective. We found a very nice yellow fabric that all the teams use now, which does leave you a chance to manipulate the line of the stone a wee bit, but definitely not too much.
No, I think the abrasive pads that were being used, it was hard for the iceman to try and maintain the ice when it was wearing away the pebbles so much, the ice was becoming flat in spots, and you don't want that. You want good, consistent ice for the players to play on. So I think it's good that it's a very universal pad that has to meet the regulations now.
It's always good to see the sport evolving, of course. Sometimes it can be an issue, but that's been that way in other sports, of course. But, the issue is resolved very nicely, and I believe all the players are very happy with the end result.
Yeah, and the stones, you know, they are World Curling Federation stones, so they get moved from championship to championship, and these were last used in the European B event. And, you know, there's no advantage to players. They can't influence the stones in any way, apart from how you throw them. So it's the skill of throwing the shot that counts, which I think is good. That they can't influence the stones at all.
Now a big sweep here to try and hold the line, make it curl less. Just enough, I believe, to sit around, sit two. And that's great for Sweden, because they're looking to force Switzerland to take a single point here.
So it gets to this stage when Switzerland feel that they're not going to be able to blank the end because these two yellows are well spread out. So do they get to the point where they need to try for two? Either by using the guard or freezing. These yellows at the back are not a danger. You could freeze them.
Looks like that's the call, perhaps, here, looking at the broom placement. Expecting about 4 to 5 feet of curl. Just throwing against the brush, clockwise curl. This should try and nestle up against that yellow stone. Liking the way here, the sweepers. Do they have the line, or is it starting to over-curl? I think it's over-curled, and we've seen this a few times coming out to the wings. Getting a little more movement than they're expecting, the teams.
Because the weight was really good there that she had played. Freeze is always, the dead freeze is a very tricky shot, because your weight's got to be absolutely inch perfect, and the line's got to be inch perfect.
Halvträff är optimalt så vi inte river med egen.
Kommer vi bli av med egen eller blir det?
Halvträff är lugnt.
Okej,
I believe it just settled down for second shot, so Sweden quite happy to just remove it. I believe they're also just looking to roll out here, not wanting to leave a big pocket for Switzerland to freeze onto. You see that big extension again from Murano. It's probably something she's been practicing quite a lot. She's thrown a few bombs down the ice here. Seemed very much in control of both throws. And I don't remember her throwing quite that aggressively last year in the World Juniors.
It's always good to have that in your ammunition to be able to throw a weight like that, you know, but the key is when you extend to be accurate and not throw it off the brush. So she's obviously, as you say, practiced that a lot to have that in her shots. But yeah, you don't see many of the younger women curlers being able to throw accurately at that weight.
I think if you look to a player like Oscar Eriksson, he's a kind of guy that you can see just absolutely chucking the stones down with a huge extension, but somehow able to be accurate pretty much all the time. So it's really it's very hard to do. But practice makes perfect.
Absolutely. Practice makes permanent. As well as perfect. It's permanent in your muscle memory.
Switzerland will try this freeze again.
They know the line because they just came down that way. Just a pound light.
Yeah.
But it does lie short.
All bit tougher to remove for Sweden now.
Men du vill helst ha den enkel? Ja. Så där kan det kalla lite, så ta där.
Looking to peel it the other way this time.
Kör vi in här nu då?
She throws the same weight. She might be catching her own yellow on the other side of the house. It'd be unfortunate to split that out and leave a blank.
Yep.
Going the other way here, although throwing big weight. You wonder if there's maybe a bit more curl coming this hand. Big sweep early on. Make sure not to jam it. Well, they have.
Okay.
Maybe like touch that one a little.
And I think Jenny Wåhlin just grazed that stone with her foot a little bit. I think it made a big difference. To maybe kick it a few inches deeper.
Sorry.
Sweepers managed to hold that well because she was tight played and just got that Swiss stone out enough to lie to. They're happy. And from their point of view, you know, they're forcing Switzerland to their one.
A mission accomplished for Sweden. But the shot will have to be made first. Last stone, fifth end, looking for the hit and stick to score one here. Will hit and roll, but doesn't roll too far. Will sit in the 8 foot for a single point. Switzerland will double their score to 2, but Sweden is up 3 shots to their 2 after 5 ends of play. The teams will have a 5-minute practice, or break rather. First end of play, Switzerland, Sweden. Sweden sitting to Selina Wiczonka with the last stone, having to navigate through quite a few guards and bring this one onto the button for one. Excellent draw. Very tough shot pulled off by the Swiss skip. Skipping along to the 4th end, Sweden. With a draw to score 3, really break open the game. Does hang around in the back 8. 3 points for Sweden. And a 3-1 lead after 4 rounds. And they would force Switzerland to play an open hit to score a single. Big sweep to hold the line here. The hit and stick is made by Vichonke, and the Swiss team, it's 3-2 after 5 ends of play. Taking a look at the other games in the Curl Aberdeen today, Norway is up 3-2 over Republic of Korea. Russia is up 4-3 over United States. It's a tied game between Turkey and Canada, and the same for Scotland, China.
Förstås eller?
Nej, sorry.
Meter versucht und nachher schauen, was sie macht. Wenn sie spielt dahinter, zieht zweite Offensivstein, Freeze oder Come Around. Wenn sie auf die Seite rausgeht, kannst du überlegen. Aber abschließen würden wir auch nicht.
In die Seite auch. Und wir schon mal da gehen?
Så vi väljer...
Magan, de spelar inte med röd 8.
Ja. Allison har tagit. Bra. Så de missar ju en del. Bra om vi stänker dit någon till 100%are.
Vill hjälpa mig med.
Och så hjälps åt med kommunikationen och försöka hålla...
Jag ska gå med
inte bli irriterad om det liksom missstämmer lite.
Jag ska gå med systemerna.
Får jobba både med kroppsspråk och...
Sladden är längre in i fickan.
Och snack. Vässa lite grann. Det ser bra ut.
Taking a look at the stats after 5 ends of play, we see Sweden in total percentage out throwing the Swiss by 12%, and it really shows on the scoreboard as well. It was Switzerland to start the game, went last on advantage. That advantage is now flipped, and Sweden will have a 1-point lead as well before getting back onto the 6th end. The teams are back in action on sheet Bravo in the Curl Aberdeen. Sweden leads the game 3-2 over Switzerland. They've been the better of the two sides so far through 5 ends, but we're only halfway there. Still lots of curling left to be played, and we know the momentum in a curling game can switch back and forth instantly. Switzerland throws a centre guard. Sweden will be looking to come around it.
Nej, bara sitt.
Ah, sorry.
Ja, vi ska vara på mig. Okej, satsar ni.
Vi får värsna. Bli med oss 3/4. Men så. Jag sover så einfach mega offen. Weißt du was? Kann man schon auch.
Ist offen, weißt du? Bin ich okay?
Sehr gut. T.
So Switzerland, Anna Gut, just looking to freeze on top of the Swedish stone.
what does that accomplish?
They want to try and set up a multiple score at this end, so forcing Sweden to make an error, but she's just bounced off that, which isn't too bad a result because it pushes Sweden back tee, so it maybe gives Switzerland something to freeze on later on. Now it's important here, if Sweden can hit and roll off this to the right place, it makes it very difficult for Switzerland.
Ganska bra! Ganska bra ändå! Var med! Bra bort! Nej! Wow! Okej, det där Fanny.
Just on the nose.
Bra fart tycker jag. Bra satt. Bra satt.
Switzerland want to try and generate a couple at this end, so they could just follow that last draw and come in again. So yeah, Sweden have got last stone at this end now, so Switzerland need to be careful that they don't lose more than a one here.
Well, you can see the instinct for Vichonka there to play the straight draw, really wanting to put their stones in difficult spots for Sweden. At the same time, didn't really want to leave Sweden with too many L's in the house, and that's why they played the hit and roll. They rolled too far. And Sweden with a chance to come around the centre guard again. Set two buried.
Känns lite skadning ganska mycket. David, bra fart, lite lång. Curla gärna. Tid, curla. Tid. Okej, eka då. Eka. Nästa bak 8. Nej. Vart är vi? Bak 8, 4. Bak 4. Ja, Fanny går då. Okej, gå. Bak 8. Spike 12. Räcker. Gå.
This one coming up well deep. Believe just good enough for second shot. It definitely leaves Switzerland with a chance to play the same draw here. Perhaps even freeze that yellow shot stone.
Yeah, this is a key shot for Switzerland here. If they can come in and freeze this, it would really kill the end for Sweden.
Leaves another centre guard. Well, you like to force the play along the centre line when you don't have the hammer. But at the same time, you don't want your opponent to load up the house and around them.
Jag gillar den mer. Jag tror att det går lika här 20 år. Det går lätt liksom. Bra fart! Ganska bra! 10, 4! Med Fanny! 4 till! Om vi måste! Fort! Bak 4! Bak 4! Fort, tjejer!
They're sweeping this one really hard to get it past the guard. Just catches it.
Well, not even the power girls could bring that past the guard. Fanny Sjöberg and Jenny Wåhlin, two of the stronger sweepers in the field, have participated in Swedish national bench pressing competitions. They take fitness very seriously, as you should. As a curler, it's becoming more and more important. And of course, the stronger you are, the better a sweeper you are. And if you have just an inch more of a margin than your opponent for every shot, well, certainly that can be quite the advantage over an end, over a game, over a week.
Yeah, definitely. And the importance of just being able to sweep a stone past that guard, to be able to pass it rather than just nick it, makes a big, big difference. That was a lovely shot there, though.
Yeah, Lena Matisse having a few struggles in the first half of the game. Makes a beautiful shot there. A hit and roll. We've seen both teams struggle to make it perfect so far in the game. Now Jenny Wåhlin will look to spill a few reds, try and open it up. Gain access to that shot stone. Get both the reds off here. Does that nicely.
She leaves one on the wing, but they'll be happy the front's open. That's the main object there, to get the front opened up.
I believe the yellow stone in the back is second shot as well.
Eller stå på säckgruppen.
Ja, marginalgård.
4!
Ja. 4. Har någon kört en 4 här?
So the guard's just very slightly over curled. Allows Sweden to come in and tap this one back. That's line shot. The sweeper's working it really hard to get it past the guard. Just caught it. So Switzerland quite happy to keep guarding this shot that's on the 1 foot.
You can see where the shooter ended up as well. Really taking away that right-hand side for Sweden. Isabella Vrano would like to at least have a way into the button to score a 1. So far there's a bit of a clutter up front. Pull this guard over onto the center line. Pretty good spot there. I feel like the players have been touching stones quite a lot today. Just take a slight kick and touch here and there on stationary stones. Doesn't make a big difference, but
I och för sig det curlar mer här.
a bit clumsy today.
Fast mycket bättre vinkel där. Vi måste ju ändå stanna här, så jag tycker vi spelar bara en bak 4 och så försöker vi komma skottet bakom guard.
So the guard is quite long. Sweden feel they can come round that and just tap the shot back.
Definitely enough swing in the ice to do it. It's all about throwing the correct weight here.
Vi måste gå ganska nära garden nu. Vi försöker trycka bak den här, någon så här bak 4 typ.
What's the tolerance for the shot here?
Bakfyra, alltså
You're not
verkligen
going
bara
to make
trycka
it.
den så vi blir skottet. 10.
She really wants to not be on the wide side. If you're not going to get the shot, make sure you're opening up the front, catch the top guard and roll over. And even if your shooter rolls over, it might give you a shot you can use with your next one.
A little bit off and on here. Again, always a good sign. Now trying to drag this past the guard. Have they left it for too long? I think they have. Just nicking the guard, trying to roll in. Or maybe a second or third shot. Doesn't quite get there. We'll sit for fourth. I believe there's a yellow in the back. Sitting second. Now we see the Power Girls in action. We'll see how Jenny Wallin just put all her body weight on the broom. Probably could have kept it. If they were allowed to sweep all the way down, but left. It's off the sweeping for a whole bit early on.
And it's just really nicked the guard. It hasn't moved it out the way very much, so it means now that Switzerland have got a smaller area to have to guard. The bench looking a bit cold there.
Yeah.
It's funny how cold you can be when you're just sitting still watching curling, but as soon as you start playing, the jackets will come off quite quickly. Actually has room to overcurl this time. She'll undercurl it. That's a big mistake. Actually, could have curled all the way across that center line, and it would have been good.
Yep, because our weight was good. It was really just the line there that was too high. So give Sweden the opportunity now.
And to score two even. Second shot in the back. Big mistake by Selina Wiczonka. That was a pretty makeable shot. Just erred really on the wrong side of things.
Yeah, it was key there after Sweden catching that guard that Switzerland capitalised on that mistake and just didn't manage to do it.
Making the hit on the red stone here. Not the toughest bit. It's trying to punch that red stone past her own yellow at the back. Last stone of the sixth end here. Maybe to score two. Hits the red and will sit around. Very nicely played by Isabella Verano. Having a second look. It will be two. Sweden looking very much in control so far through 6 ends. Now a 5-2 game. 5-2, Sweden leads after 6 ends of play. At least 4 ends to go.
Börjar det sega eller är det något? Börjar det sega?
Jag tror att det var lite längre ut. Eller?
Okej.
Det rör kanske går. Kanske nog, jag håller alltså lite. Men...
Sorry, 3. Linje 3 squat. 3 squat. 3.
Squat 3.
Linje 1. Länge jou niet mee.
So Switzerland need to put their corners up now and try and get something going at this end to generate a 2.
Fast det är inte jättemycket så kan det vara så lite. Nära, lite kort.
Eran.
12, 8. 8, 4. 8.
Håll i den.
4, 8, 4. 4, 10.
Amira.
4, 8.
Amira. Släpp den inte. Bara gå. Gå. Det kan bara gå. Det kommer aldrig vara långt. Aldrig långt. Kör. Den är aldrig lång.
Mera. Hela gången. Sista.
Det är bra. Bra så.
Härligt. Bra på.
So 2 good stones from Sweden, putting them both in the house, leaving no guards out front. Switzerland will just ignore them and try and draw around the corner guard. Played that nicely.
Now the free guard zone is up. Sweden was not allowed to hit that corner guard on the previous shot. They are allowed to do it now. It's 4-rock rule. But although that will be extended to a 5-rock rule next season.
Yeah, that'll make things very interesting. We'll have a lot more stones in play, I would think.
Well, will at least give the team with the last one advantage. A slightly bigger chance of maybe pulling back in games when they're down big. I think that's maybe the main difference. Makes it a little harder to run away with the games if you can't hit your opposition guards. You can see Almeida de Waal making a nice corner guard peel and actually improving the placement of the yellows in the house as well. That's a nice bonus.
Yep, that was a great result. So will they extend the thinking time that you get if it could be more drawing in the game to a 5-rock rule, or will they keep it at 38 minutes?
I think they'll just keep it the same. Still a game in development, curling. And so much though in the last 20 years since it made its debut in the Olympic program in Nagano, Japan.
So just replacing that corner guard. It's over curled a wee bit, but Sweden will still remove it anyway.
Real thrust coming at the hack. Big kick. Lots of weight.
Yep, I think the Swedish junior girls team have been doing quite a bit of work on their takeout weight.
If you look at Swedish team of Anna Hasselborg won the Olympic gold medal just recently. They're a team that can play the upweight as well.
And it's always great to have that, you know, if you're up in a game, that you've absolutely got the confidence that you can keep things clear and finish off the game.
Yeah, really good for running away with a game, protecting a lead, and also being able to bail yourself out if you get a bad setup in ends. Not get too stuck in.
And I think when you can play that big weight so accurately, you're more tempted to guddle about more in the head, because you can have stones in play looking at angles and you're not frightened to play that big weight to do some demolition in the head.
Yeah, perhaps leave yourself a big shot for a big score. This time from Janne Volin, not quite being able to roll the shooter out of play. You can see where those yellows are placed. Very tough for Switzerland to make a double. It might jam on the red.
Yeah, but even if she would come in and just tap it back just now, tap one onto the other, and sit in front, could cause a problem for Sweden. She certainly needs to move them about anyway.
Could just play the hit and roll off the top yellow.
Yep.
Try and sit two in the house. And Sweden would have to make a hit back, try and roll to a spot where there's no double. Pretty soft weight coming down here. Just over curling. Will kill one of the yellows.
I was giving them options. Got two counters in the house.
Chappen blir inte jättebra, då vill jag hellre vicka. Eller den. Ja. Kila den. Ja, jag kilar den. Etta! Etta? Vill hon vicka in lite med mig? Ja, lite in. Inte hela vägen. Vi vill inte ge dem en frys. Nej. Etta.
So just deciding to hit the back one here. I think the yellow's line too, just maybe from this angle. Hard to tell, but Switzerland will try and get the hit and roll behind the corner.
Did look like Wichonka was pointing at the yellow second shot.
Rolled the other way. And when you are trying to generate that too, you really want as much distance between your stones as possible. So unfortunately, it has left a double for Sweden now.
Men om du träffar där går den ju på. Men här ryker ju oavsett. Så. Ja. Jag vet inte hur mycket mer jag kan göra det här, men då riskerar vi att liksom gå in i den istället. Men om vi bara skulle gå på den typ? Ja, jag vet, men det känns bara här klarare ändå. Ja. Nej, men den här går ju över ifall vi träffar rätt. Ja. Då ligger vi två. Alltså, ja.
She's looking at the issue that if she takes the double, the red would spin over and potentially jam on the yellow at the back.
Fart,
but
men det grejer vi.
I think with the weight that Isabel Isabella Rana throws that I don't think she needs to worry. I think she could spin off the top of it quite easily.
Med rätt träff så ska den gå över liksom. Så känns dumt att liksom gå på den. Här får vi definitivt alltid ut en. Ja. Vill du mer? Clearing.
An even bigger extension this time.
And I think she's thrown that one back a bit, but does jam.
I think it's pretty hard to get that over the top. This is nothing you should attempt yourself without a lot of practice. Yeah. A shot put of a throw. But
And you could see she just threw it back off the centre line. So it caught the top one too thin, otherwise it could have spun over the top at the back, but she had to go for that shot. Sweden are currently 3 up, so they had to play the scoreboard there and go for the double.
Längre squat! Messi, linje squat! Av syre! Ja, hinne 4! Ja, brems. Messi, linje stift opp! Brems! Messi! 4-7! Messi,
just looking to split the house here. Keep them level. Looking very nice coming down here from Selena Vichonka right on the tee line. And even with Isabella Vrano's big extension throw, there's no chance to play a double here.
No, that was a really well played shot.
Jag kan köra ännu hårdare om du vill. Vad sa du? Är du rädd för den eller? Är du rädd för jammen? Alltså jag hör inte. Vill du gå inifrån, vad är det du sa? Ta lite mindre is och spela lite mer fart. Okej. Är det vilken in eller? Ja, chapper är okej. Okej. Bara så att vi ligger skottet liksom.
The only danger here, really, for Sweden is if they jammed it on the back yellow. Which they've avoided, so lie shot, it's the best you could really do there.
Die macht da immer halbe Bremsspuren. Sie kommen plötzlich schon noch. Ja. Jag frågade, ska vi köra lite hårdare? Är du rädd för jammen, frågade jag. Det såg ut som att det stod där bara. Kolla ner på den.
A great chance for Switzerland to score 2 back here. Tighten up that scoreline. Last stone, 7th end, Selena Vichonka. Nose hit for 2. Big sweep though. Is it curling too much?
They're working it really hard.
We'll just over curl, and how far does that shooter roll? Will it just hang on for 2? No, rolls out, so only 1 for Switzerland. Big mistake by Vichonka. That was really important to make that one. And only the 1 for the Swiss. They will trail Sweden by 2. 5-3 after 7 ends.
Squish. 15.
Sweden is up 2. Points on Switzerland in the 8th end. Very much in control. Switzerland had a glorious chance to score 2 back in the previous end, with Tronka just rolling out on the nose hit. Sweden would be quite happy to just score even, retain their lead. Slips a little bit deep here. That first stone. So far, a decent setup for Switzerland to maybe steal. Coming into the house, though, would you ever consider throwing 2 centre guards at this point when you're 2 down, 8th end?
Yeah, definitely. They need to try and create as much cover as possible. It's the only way they can put the pressure on Sweden. If you're Sweden right now, you want the stones in the head because you can move them, you can hit them. Whereas when there's cover out front, you can't with these first 4 stones. So it is that opportunity for Switzerland while the lead's playing to get 2 guards out the front. You can see the difference there in the 2 players. 77% and 79%, so not much in it after 8 ends for the leads. Working this really hard past the... Oh, just next the guard. So again, that's one, she can't remove it from play, but they could have upped and split it further to the side. So now Switzerland can get the opportunity to put their second central guard up. They don't want to come into the house at this point. So they just want, even if it's just over the hog line, it's not bad. It's still a guard. And it makes the double clear harder for Sweden when there's a distance between the 2 guards. So no sweeping on this. Silence at the moment.
Not the greatest end for Sweden so far. More or less 4 missed shots. There's that deep draw. Nicked the guard. And a flash peel. 3 shots, rather. Still not great.
So Switzerland really need to capitalise on these errors and really put the pressure onto Sweden now. Stone placement's key here, that they don't leave a big double for Sweden. So just coming round this higher guard and coming a bit closer to the house. Shot's good or just biting. because Sweden can throw this big peel weight, you want to try and keep as much distance as you can, Switzerland, so that they don't leave an easy double. Not much difference in the stats on the second players either. 67 and 68. Definitely the hits being they're stronger for both. Yep, left a really nice double there.
Yeah, pretty good result. Makes up for that first mistake. Almeida Deval.
And also it's good to remove that one at top of the forefoot, because that's always the danger zone. So scoring zone's a lot greater now for Sweden.
Of course, Switzerland will have to replace that draw to get shots, don't? If they can, to make a mistake, well, not less pressure on Sweden. Just want to put this in exactly the same spot, but this one will just slip a tiny bit deep, just good for shot stone though.
Ja, den funkar också. Så, jag gillar den. Jag gillar båda.
Måste det mot nästan. Helt okej här uppe då, men
Helt okej lite.
gärna skottet. 15.
Yes. Gärna skottet. Någonstans mellan 8 och 9.
Ja.
Ja, skottet. Vad har vi 15 där va?
Yes, 15.
So Jenny, when she's not curling or being fifth player for Olympic gold medal teams, she's a cashier at the local grocery store.
Känns lite lång.
See if she can cash in on this draw.
I would say so. Great result.
Vi går i ens.
Jag trodde du ville lösa den.
Ja, 0-5. Okej.
Kan ni gå ut, ja?
So Switzerland now coming round. Other hand to try and just freeze on top of that Swedish stone. Important to get past the top one though. Just light.
Yeah, it's left a stagger on the reds as well. Very tough for Switzerland to promote. Any of those stones are impossible, rather. Sweden might be forced to just come around again.
Sweden could lift the double on those reds at the front. They've been cleaning all end, but now it's sitting well for them. They wouldn't want to open it up and allow Switzerland to come in and freeze. So yeah, a great opportunity for Sweden to come in and basically kill the end here.
At the same time, if they make a mistake here, come up a little heavy, Switzerland will have the same chance. So taking a small risk. Switzerland's going to pull up short. Trying to bounce a bit out here, try and take away that same path for Switzerland.
Yeah, but it still gives Switzerland the opportunity to come round in the outturn now. Same way that they came in the last time. Yeah, it's hard. Sweden have been trying to clear the whole end and then they come up short there and leave a centre guard, which is never ideal when you've got Last stone.
Okay.
Well, taking away that in-turn draw, also taking away the double on the front stones. You think if Switzerland can make a really good freeze here, or at least a draw to the button, it's pretty much a guaranteed steal. How do you ever come after it if you're Sweden? Lots of room, they say.
Important they keep on it though and don't lose it. They need to be in for shot.
Okay, good sir.
Not quite.
They were just waiting for it to start moving there. It was hanging wide and...
Vad händer om vi gör liksom C-shot?
Bit of a difference for the skips this evening.
Om vi gardar
I
paketet.
wonder now if Sweden might just throw the guard on this,
Ja,
having shot stone.
jag gillar gardar.
Yeah, I think at this stage in the game, you know, it's the 8th end. They've got to look at what they want to get out of this.
Man ser mindre än halva, Jenny.
Back to playing the scoreboard. They're 2 up.
Jag gillar
If they score 1, they're going into the 9th end. 3 up. Pretty good position to be in.
Det är liksom, de har en sten kvar och vi ligger skotte.
Exakt.
Vi
låg skotte.
Ja,
jag missade det.
Annars
det var därför jag bara, okej, men nu fattar jag. De såg så glada ut efter, det var därför. 30?
Ja. Lite mindre.
Sweden will, in fact, throw the guard here.
Bra
There won't be many options for Switzerland to get in for shot stone.
Jenny! Jenny måste gå! Stäng luckan!
Yeah, does the job.
Yeah, pretty good there. I wonder if that's the stone Switzerland might have to make a play on that guard, run that guard in onto the red. Or is it possible to get there on the in-turn draw? Is there enough swing?
The guards are quite long and there is a good finish, but it's whether you could get round them to get to that yellow.
Huh?
Isabella Rana is a curling teacher. Do you think she teaches her pupils to throw big strike weight?
Maybe not the first thing to focus on. Calling our team down here, Vichonka.
Der einzige, wo wir Schott wären, ist wahrscheinlich gelb-rot, aber die Frage ist, wenn wir es riskieren oder nicht.
The draw on the left-hand side is probably just there. It's really tough to make, though.
Also der gelbe, überreden, minim, fast noch.
Nein.
So are the options.
Also minim aussen, ja, fast Nasen eigentlich.
Das Ding ist auch, wenn er dann wirklich zu weit aussehen.
Jetzt weit, dann habe ich so, oder? Dann kommt die drauf. Die Frage ist, wie viel riskieren wir?
Wie viel riskieren wir? So kommst du nie.
You may see a time
Eben,
out
das ist der einzige zum Schott werden.
Also entweder gehen wir
if they
rein
can't
oder
decide.
wir machen den, ja. Die Frage ist...
60 nachher 2 machen, eine stellen. Ist realistisch?
Ja.
Sonst geben wir ihr den einfach.
Einen. Ja, geben wir einen. Dann würde ich wieder einfach den abgehalten, weil der könnte es noch... Also,
Ja,
They don't want to do anything that opens things up and let Sweden in for 2.
Ja, Skard macht den ab.
Einfach den geil abgehalten.
Ja. Ist gut. Nicht schlecht.
Wird sie auch so nicht sagen?
Nein, sie muss als Dolly kommen.
Okay. Ja, da kommst du... Also nein. Nein, ich glaube das nicht. Also gehen wir rein.
Ja.
Bin ich nicht so doof.
So the draw would be a safer call then. Looking to run that yellow guard in. Might just catch your own red and, as you say, open it up for a score of 2. This might look like they're just throwing this one away. just guarding? Not really sure. Rona?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they've maybe just decided that... I think they were looking if they passed this yellow guard, could they come in and just nick the red an inch? But they're just quite happy to guard.
I thought it would probably be worth having a go at the draw. Didn't seem to be that risky, except you could obviously catch the guard and maybe open up the path for Sweden. I think Sweden will try and attempt the draw themselves. Sometimes it just looks impossible.
If Switzerland had just passed that top guard, they could have curled enough just to nudge the red an inch in for shot.
Sitting the one.
Oh, big wobble again.
Yeah, strange slide from Verona. We're not used to seeing that. It's the second time this game.
When she's played a draw, when she's playing the big weights, she's very steady. She's past the top one.
To finish big time here. Get a piece of the button. Not a bad attempt. It's just not going to get there. Had to be feathering the guard together, but that was a really good attempt, especially considering the slide coming out the hack. Another chuckle for Sweden, but they score one. It's a 6-3 game with 2 ends to go.
Close, ja. Want vorig niet echt dit hem nog weniger hand doen. Ja, nog niet meer zo. Kan köra. Fort. Gå tjejer. Fort. Hela vägen. Janet. Bara köra. Längre. Jenny. Du har den. Måste in och tjejer. Go.
Sweden definitely wanting to come into the house here with their 2-point lead.
Yeah, they're running out of ends, so they need to definitely try and get their 2 at least back here. But it was a slight error from Sweden to put that one short. They really wanted that in the house.
Bättre fart, lite lång. Tid. Topp 4. Tid.
Amida.
Känns bra.
Amida måste gå.
Tacka lite. 8.
Nej, den är garden.
So definitely want to bring this in, come right round that guard and into the house.
Fort.
Försök få in någon av dem.
Just rub off it.
10 på den. Bättre fart.
Now 2 guards.
Another sloppy end by Swedish lead. Missed a couple of shots in the 8th as well.
Jeg ser at du skal der si hindre. Slapp litt av siden godt. Ja, det skal kjøl. Hvem er glitt da? Wat? En met meneer Broeger, die zelf nog weer weg. Wat is mijn? Nee, is goed.
Just having a conversation whether best to come round the corner guard or to come round the centre ones. I think at this stage they've put the corner guard up. Why not use it? Come round it now.
Ja, Linje! Go first! Ja!
sweeping this really hard to get it past, but it's caught.
Okay.
So 4 guards out front now.
Well, if anything, that's the way you want to miss at this point for Switzerland. No need to chuck them through the house, at least leave something in play.
Viktigast är väl att, ja precis, ganska hård, bli av med. Var det träffen?
Om du missar alla stenar så får du 1000 spänn.
Är träffen på den röda först? Ja. Ganska tunn då.
Looking for the double on the 2 center stones here. Needing to catch the red stone need next to Vrano's broom. Very thin. Except for the one hiccup on appeal. The upweights have been pretty solid from Deval so far. 1-2, there we go again. And the shooter rolls up and out. With a bit of help from Wallin. Very nicely played. Tidies it up a little bit for Sweden.
Yeah, much more open now, but for Switzerland, they've still got their corner guard. So play a good draw round here. Try and generate a 2. So a better weight this time. Ah, lovely shot in there behind the guard.
Vi kör den då. Och ifall att så kan vi gå på den.
Satsa på enkelt så mycket kör.
Wow.
Peel the guard off well.
Ready?
After the last end, she would be really focused in making sure not to make the same mistake again. Switzerland just need to keep plugging away and force an error out of Sweden. That's a good corner guard.
På all utsikt på min gula här.
So Sweden just looking to raise the guard into the one in the house and split it out.
Yep. Oh. Yep. Oh. Yep.
So it must be close. They're on and off it.
Whoa.
And plays it perfectly. Great shot.
Bra skrivet, Bella.
Yeah, well called, well played. And she's happy with that.
Looking to come around the other guard this time, Switzerland. You can hear from the lack of communication. And the stone is over curling, catching that guard. Sit very much in the open.
Man vill inte gärna ligga kvar där, eller? Det finns nog kanske en dubbel här.
Ja,
men
jag killar den.
Försök på den i alla fall, om inte annat kanske vi kan skava ner och ligga här.
Ja. De kan ju använda våran som en corner. Ja.
Måste nog vara ganska hård.
Ja. Ja, nej.
So, not a big conversation about what shot to play. It's where they want their shooter to go.
Yep.
They don't want to leave something that will benefit Switzerland, so i.e. cover. So they're quite happy to split them all out, and she does that one perfectly. Moves their own yellow away to the side, and doesn't leave Switzerland a guard to come round.
Bra Jenny. Vilken räddare.
Samma kort.
Var den ganska hård också? Ja, det är
Vinnegår!
Fia!
Fanna Fia!
Fia! T-line! Hinne Fia!
Nej, längre inte för ner.
Hinne 8! Längre ut!
Schreib Kaschen nicht. Wenn kannst ja, wenn kannst ja. Ja!
They're just trying to bury it as far back as they can, behind the cover. Unfortunately, it just didn't bury, so Sweden can see nearly the whole stone. So we'll just try and split it out the house.
4.
Ja.
So not much communication out there between the Swiss players. So Isabella Rana just trying to split this red Swiss stone out. So just tight and catches the guard. Does roll her shooter in though to lie 2.
Jag tror bara dubbel där om man spelar 4 först.
Jag tyckte den var lite lite från början, sen så var det lite där.
Kanske. Vad är det spelet?
Fanny.
Nej, schnell. Also weißt du, dass der geht? Weißt du, wenn wir einfach da gehen, dann kann sie ihn einfach noch raus oder ein bisschen nach hinten rollen.
Ja, nein, ich soll es noch ein bisschen.
Dann muss es schon, weißt, schlechter werden.
Also.
Aber er müsste halt schon recht schnell sein, oder?
Ja, brauchst mit irgendwo.
Schnell wenn wir.
Ja, halt schon nicht.
Oder weil den kann ich nie spielen, der jammt jetzt immer hinten.
Kannst du einfach eben rausbringen.
Und auch weißt, wenn ich ihn einfach so spiele, bringt nichts, dann kann sie dahinter kleiner rollen. Bringt auch nichts, wir müssen fast den spielen. Oder? Siehst du auch so?
Das jammen wir immer.
Ja. Darum müssen wir nicht zuerst über den nehmen.
Also.
Aber würdest du von außen, oder? Weil von innen habe ich das Gefühl, gehen wir vielleicht fast miteinander durch.
Nein, von außen.
Ja.
Spielst du so? Ja.
Ja, ist gut.
Doesn't look like they think they can make the double here the natural way without jamming on the red.
Wahrscheinlich den probieren rauszudrücken. Was musst du?
So playing the double the other way, catching the lower stone first.
Aber den kann ich nicht
You have to throw it pretty hard to try and punch that yellow far enough to sit too.
Achtung.
Ja.
Also, ich muss auch nicht ganz raus, ich hoffe, dass er nachher nicht...
Ja. Ist gut.
Can't really hear much communication on this one either.
Okay.
Catches it on the wrong side, really. Still leaves 2 reds in the house. Isabella Verano will need to hit and stick here. You roll out, it's an open shot for 2. If you make the nose hit here, virtually impossible for the Swiss to get their deuce.
Vänta. Ja, 0 är väl helt okej också.
So they're on this early, but they're up and down, so it's a good sign. As long as she stays in the rings. The double is there for 2 now.
Yeah, rolled a bit.
Too far across.
Tummen inneduren här.
Not an easy one though.
Så. Ja.
No.
Sätt nu så. Ja. Ja. 9,5. Oder 9. 9,5.
But it's there, and that's
Så spelar.
the key thing that if Sweden had hit in the nose, the double would have been virtually impossible. So, giving Switzerland a glimmer of hope here to lift the double for 2.
Maar zeg je Feliz.
Ja.
Ga met zo fast. Oké, squid.
Ich weiss jetzt gerade vom Eis her nicht, würde ein bisschen weniger. 9,5.
Wie schön?
9,5. Wo
Ich finde es eher genug. Also ja.
Nicht ganz Nase fast. Ein bisschen weniger ist mir alt. Hä? Noch ein bisschen weniger.
Ich finde es eigentlich gut. Also ja.
Ich finde es eigentlich gut.
Last thrown at this 9th end. Switzerland have got the chance for a 2 if they can take this double. But no sweeping at the moment.
Trying. Will catch it too thin. The other way, perhaps? Yes, there you go.
Perfect.
Not exactly as planned, but gets across the nose of the back stone and sits for 2. They'll take it. 2 points for Switzerland.
Für mich geht's nicht mehr.
Perhaps.
Nein, wirklich nicht.
So,
2 wrongs make a right.
Also jetzt, ja.
And it's a 6-5 game with 1 end to go.
Ja. Teppelen, Stößelen,
Genau.
Früselen. Alles. Alles sogar.
Switzerland are right back in it here with a score of 2 in the 9th end. Just trailing by the 1 as we enter the 10th end. They will definitely be looking to take advantage of the 3-guard zone here. Throw a couple centre guards. They will need to steal at least 1. Push the game into an extra 2 for the win. Sweden will be looking to keep everything very much in the open. Make sure they have a chance to put their final stone in the forfeit for the win. Not allowed to remove the centre guards here. They're allowed to play the tick shot, soft peel, split, whatever you want to call it. They're allowed to try and catch this guard just ever so thinly. And try and move it over, open up the centre line. This one needing to curl. Catches a piece though.
Yeah, very nicely done.
Just curled up in time, no sweeping necessary for Fanny Sjöberg. Perfect tick shot.
Perfekt shot. Härligt Fanny.
Oh, big smile. She's happy with that.
Well, she missed a couple of shots in the last few ends. But now right back on track.
Yeah, and the degree of difficulty in the shot she's just played is a lot greater than the shots in previous ends, so she'll be happy she's made up for it.
Well, she'll might have to make one more. Another centre guard up for Switzerland.
Har jag min ris nu?
Den är väl lite längre till sidan också.
Okej, tack. Tutti.
Lite mer. Bra fart. Samma. Lite rassare.
Måste klara. Men ja, lite hårdare.
Gärna turn.
Sweepers on this one to try and
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
hold it.
Ja.
She's looking good again. Two great shots there.
Wow.
Snyggt. Bra koll, Bella.
Hard to make them better than that. Two pistols.
Phew, she says. I'm glad that's over.
Look at that. Look at how open that house is. Close to 10 feet
Nice.
of room.
Din är good.
Meaning Isabella Verano, the skip, can play a draw to the forward, both on the outer and the in turn, both sides available.
Go, go, go.
Though there is a bit of shrapnel
Bring it to go, 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 go.
in around.
Oops, a daisy. Having a wee seat.
And this.
Wasn't over anyway.
Ja, nej, tur att det fanns inte.
That's not what you want to happen at the 10th end when you need to steal.
Kom inte bort, vi ska skjuta dem.
Ja.
Om du tar en över är det inte hela världen. Någon av dem bara.
So I mentioned the shrapnel. The thing is, Switzerland plays for high centre guards. Tough, a little bit tough to peel it out. There's a lot of catchers on the wings. Sweden will now be looking to remove those catchers. Make it a little bit easier to peel the centre guards later on, knowing Switzerland will put up a stone on that centre line. We'll have a look at the other games right now. The South Koreans up by 1, playing Norway in the 10th end. We'll have Russia, United States tied. Canada up by 1 over Turkey, and China is up 1 against Scotland.
5 very close games going on this evening.
The centre guard is back on for Switzerland.
Yep, they just have to keep plugging away with the guards and hope for an error from Sweden.
Tunn halv ska funka också, men...
Tunn halv, det är bra.
The biggest worry for Sweden is one, of course, miss the stone altogether or hit it right on the nose, leave a guard. But the most likely thing for them to worry about is where they run this red stone.
They're on this the whole way. She's perfect.
So there's a chance for that red stone to come off one of the catchers, roll back onto the centre line and perhaps into the house. We've seen it many times before. That's why Switzerland wants to throw these centre guards quite long for now.
Another good centre guard there from Switzerland.
Allt borde vara bra.
Sweeping this one. Out. A nose job, as they say. Switzerland wanted to keep the guards fairly high because they could then, as you say, catch them left or right to the shrapnel that's about. But now that the guards knows they want it closer to the house, so it's better to come round. Because even if you bury perfectly behind that, it's still easy to come round the guard because it's so long. It wouldn't be bad for Switzerland to put another guard up here.
I think that's what they're doing. Just throwing a tight tenor guard, trying to get it fully buried around that top yellow. Tempt Sweden to peel the top guard, leaving a better one.
Yeah, that's good there.
Does show a piece. Looks like Sweden might try and peel that red one. Tolerant, of course, to catch the top yellow here. But the red stone just played by Switzerland, definitely the most dangerous one.
Yep. Kort! Ligger bra.
Yep, peels that nicely.
Supergard som ligger uppe här.
Nej.
Jenny.
Pretty good. Jag sa det, så Jenny ville inte komma över.
Längre skudd, Tru. Längre skudd, Tru. Längre skudd. Nej, Tru. Tru, längre nu. Stopp. Längre nu.
So Selena just looking to replace that guard, trying to come round behind the yellow a wee bit so that it's harder for Sweden to remove.
Titt upp. Det är inte så bra.
Alltså, det är finish.
Gott så.
Hallo? Gute Finish braucht.
Coach's bench all looking quite serious at the moment in this 10th end. Yep, peels it away nicely.
Only one stone left for Switzerland here. We'll have to come into the house. The question is how deep
Jag tyckte den flög mycket
do you
mer.
want to throw it? You want to throw it all the way down into the 4th foot?
Jag trodde typ skulle stanna någonstans där.
Leave
Det skulle bara yeah!
potentially a takeout for Sweden. Try and throw it
Vi ser vad vi får för uppgift.
pretty high up. Forced to draw.
Yeah, I mean, Sweden, they've got that one shot advantage here, so they don't need to score. So if they can see any of the stone, they can split it out, which I'm sure she would like to do. So I think Switzerland just have to make sure they're completely buried here and force the draw.
Probably even for to overbury a wee bit. Show a piece on the outside, if anything. Maybe catch a piece of the 4th foot, try and close down the scoring area a little bit for the draw. This one having some curling to do. Pretty good weight though, right on the tee line, and that would be
great weight.
Pretty fully buried, I believe. Pretty good draw.
Very good effort.
Hard to do much better than that.
Ask the question of Isabella Rana now. She needs to draw the button. But they are, Sweden are one up, so they know at worst they've got an extra end.
15-20.
$15.2. That's what they're saying here. Or 15.20 rather for a split time. Just feel like they know the weight. But this one's running a bit hot.
Yeah, sweeper's keeping off it. Is it going to come enough at the end and dig in? No, it's not.
And it's a steal of 1 for Switzerland. That means we have a tied game and we'll have an extra end here in Curl Aberdeen. Stay tuned.
Gör vi samma sak igen?
Ja, det gör vi.
Fan vad slarvigt.
Ja.
Det där var ju helt jävla grym.
Het ligt een push.
Zijn er? Tien is goed.
Maar 3.
Ja, bij binnen. Tien is goed. Nee.
Oh, nummer nice.
Nee, is 2.
Extra end action in Curl Aberdeen. Switzerland stealing one after an excellent draw by Selina Vichonka. Isabella Vrano, skip of Sweden, couldn't quite find the button. We'll go one more.
So, I bet she thought her ticking days were over after the 10th end, but no, we need some more ticks at the extra end.
Played 2 perfect soft deals in the 10th end. Can she do it again? And this one just suddenly jumped on them. You could hear Vrana saying, perhaps even picked something. It looked pretty good coming down. They were wanting it to curl and then all of a sudden just jumped on them.
She hasn't actually removed it. Did she remove it from play? I thought it was still at the back of the rings there.
Yeah, so they did effectively remove that stone from play, which means it's a violation of the free guard zone. That stone is then replaced and the thrown rock is taken out. So couldn't quite copy the soft ball from the 10th end. She'll have another try, unless they switch it up this time though. It really depends on where the second stone ends up for Switzerland. They'll be looking to put this just on line with the other red, try and leave some separation. So a double takeout won't be too easy.
And Sweden might not go for another tick. They could draw right round now because they need to score this time. At the last end at the 10th, they didn't have to score because they were 1 up. So it's an opportunity to come round the guard right now onto that 4-foot.
That is what they'll do. Try and get one in there before Switzerland does. And then worry about the guards later when they can start hitting them.
Något längre. Tid. Bak 4. Bak 4. Mer lite.
Nej.
Känns ändå
Almida om
lite
något.
lång. Känns som att den går ganska långt.
Jag har ingen linje.
Bak 4. Tid.
Nej.
Mer nu. Topp 4.
Almida i sådana fall. Almida i sådana fall. Almida. Nej, alltså inte ner.
Definitely wants to stop top tee here. Doesn't want to be back tee to give Switzerland something to freeze. Yeah, that's good weight there.
Bra där.
Bra fart.
Ja, du så. Ja. Kanske gant. Wie viel siehst du? Ganz zu mir. Wie viel siehst du? Ganz zu mir.
Ik vind dat direct zo geiler, dus ik ga het even goed in.
Dat hebben we zo weg, kan ze eventueel daar spelen. Ja. We spelen we daar, voorzichtig niet snel. Gewoon nog iets tappen, ja. Gewoon tappen, ja.
Zo, geen de 8.
Ja, backline, broek zo. Backline. Oké. Schön knapp weg. In 8. Achtung. In 8. Wow. In 8. Whoa.
So Switzerland want to girdle about the stones in the house here and keep stones in play.
Carol.
So that's pretty good. She controls the top of the forefoot because she knows that Sweden are going to move out and start peeling guards. Trying to go for the double peel. Oh, just misses the back one, but does remove the top one.
Taking a look at the other scores, we see South Korea picking up a win against Norway, Russia beating United States, Canada winning against Turkey. But we have another extra end game this evening, Scotland-China. Goes one more as well, tied at 3 each.
Drüber, einfach nur mal drüber.
Okay, ist gut.
Ist gut.
Nein, der wird immer.
Das ist gut.
So Switzerland want to just keep putting up the second guard, but keeping a bit of distance between the guards so that the double peel's not on.
Här har du. Men ja! Wow! Kom igen då!
Well played, great shot.
Härligt.
Very, very nice. And he's able to shoot, roll that shooter pretty much all the way out as well. Really opens it up. Switzerland left with that shot stone just to guard throughout the end. Having to remain patient.
Absolutely, it's a game of patience now. They just need to keep putting up the guard, but not too close to the house so that Sweden can't lift the guard and the shot in the house. They want to keep quite a bit of distance between them.
Good, so schön.
Well, is that too tight to the rings? Yes. I think Sweden will consider running it back.
Yeah, definitely.
Kan gilla den.
Den.
Ja.
Lite bättre vinkel än det är väl att du kan riska den, men...
Jag kan köra den också. Båda funkar.
Alltså den här är ju samma sak, så att... Ja, gärna den.
Ja, kör.
It's looking at the jam, but at this stage Sweden wouldn't mind if it jammed at his back tee. If they can clear that front of the forefoot, they would be happy.
Men japp! Japp! Ut! Okej.
Ja.
Okej.
She was actually looking more about jamming the red from the forefoot onto the one at the back, not the guard onto it. So Switzerland just have to keep guarding, keep being patient.
Anders! Zie je goed?
Ja.
Smyger! Snel, Karle!
Check your redos.
Snel, Karle!
Moet wie?
Ja!
Go!
Ja! Ja! Go! Ja! Ja! Goed zo.
So again, Sweden just look to raise the guard into the one in the house.
Certainly help out her skipper a lot here. Making the double. 1, 2. Just stuffs it. Still makes it better.
Yeah, it does make it better in that there's more of the forefoot to draw to for the skip right now. And the guard is off the centre line. Oh, Switzerland call a timeout.
Frage ist, ob wir jetzt drüber machen.
Wenn wir gerade von dem Match Center geht.
Nochmal nach,
Ja,
kann ich nicht
dumm. Ja, stimmt.
Weil sie wird kaum nachher reingehen, weil dann würden wir
Ob du da hinterher spielst?
Wenn wir jetzt machen, dann kann sie jetzt. Dann kann sie jetzt schon angreifen. Ich zuerst noch was 3 machen.
Ich würde eigentlich noch mal einen Guard, aber fragst du wo?
Ja, nochmal 3.
In der Mitte?
Die Frage ist einfach, wo?
Ich kann sie auf den machen.
Du musst aber den schon fast ein bisschen decken, weil sonst macht es irgendwie einen Wick
so.
oder so.
Oder einfach die abgehen.
Ja.
Ich meine, da. Ja, aber schau, wenn sie da liegt, kommt sie nicht mehr rein.
Ja.
Dann kommt sie nicht da in der Mitte rein.
Ja. Sie muss sie fast aufmachen. Ich glaube nicht, dass sie da dran spielt.
Nein, spielt sie nicht.
Was haben wir vor? Ich
Ja,
glaube,
ich
ich
würde
darf
Gut.
Ich habe nicht das Gefühl, dass es ihnen leid.
Wenn
Vor allem muss sie ihn aufmachen, weil wenn wir ihn jetzt hier machen, kann sie den spielen und dann habe ich spielen. Und wenn ich einfach Center Guard spiele, ich weiß nicht, ob sie den aufmacht, dann kann sie vielleicht auch den spielen.
Weißt du, wenn man nein, ich weiß nicht. Weißt du, wenn man diese halb deckt?
So halb wäre so geil.
Halb, ich meine, dann kann sie den von mir aus so, also den rausnehmen und dann können wir einen besseren Shot spielen, rein theoretisch. Also halb abgehen wäre eigentlich perfekt.
Ich habe 2, ja. Ja, aber ich würde auch einen
Der
Guard.
ist mit dem letzten spielen.
Ja, finde ich gut.
Die Frage ist von innen oder von außen?
Ich würde glaube so, wie wir jetzt immer gespielt haben, nicht? Also so?
Ja, aber jetzt haben wir ja...
Wir haben auch in der Mitte gespielt.
Also sonst haben wir einmal so gespielt.
Ja.
Aber ja, so.
Ich würde auch, sonst,
Also
sonst musst du da hinten irgendwo eingehen.
Mitte halbe.
Ja. Was sagen wir
Nein,
Tendenz?
lieber
Lieber
eh
den
nicht.
Center oder lieber den deckt? Einfach zum...
Ich glaube,
nie
lieber
versetzt.
Center.
Okay.
Hä?
Ja. Gut. Okay. Perfekt.
Von wem?
Ja. Ich kriege einfach so
Also
nicht.
lieber Center.
Ich glaube, so wird
wie
es schon
viel
ähnlich
ist noch?
versetzt.
Also da oder da?
Halbe.
Okay.
Halbe.
Gut.
Wenn wir ihn von innen.
Also ich will von dieser Seite
Ja,
spielen.
weil da-
Da wird es halb knapp. Vici!
That was coach Sandra Vichonka coming out for that timeout. Quite a lot of conversation. In the end, I think they are looking to just half guard that red shot stone on the centre line side.
2, 3.
That will definitely make a draw tough for Sweden.
Yeah, I think with this just being the skip's first
Sorry.
phone, it's
3, 2, 3.
they looked through all the options there,
Terug nog die Linie.
which was good. They talked about
Bester.
the benefits of every option, so they all absolutely agreed.
Yep.
Not that my Swiss is very good, but they did agree that they would play the guard.
Ja! Ja! Go!
I think if this was her last stone, I think they all agree where to put it. Now Sweden calls the timeout as well.
Nie weniger als halb.
Halbgedeckt. Ja?
Zwischen 3 Viertel und halb.
Tipptopp.
Quite often, peeling the guard is the call, but they know what's coming.
Nej, då fryser
You know what they'll be faced with if they do.
Ja. Så. Alltså det känns lite smaksak vad jag vill göra på sista bara.
Ja, precis.
Här kommer, om jag tar den här kommer vi förmodligen få slå liksom.
Men det
Vill
känns
du
ganska
ta bort
bra.
den här eller?
Ja.
Ja.
Vad gillar ni?
Men jag kan gilla att försöka gå ner på den och skjuta ner den här så kanske de
Ja.
drar och så får vi se.
Om vi går runt och tar den där, vad tror vi att de gör då?
Då drar de.
Bättre.
Om vi ligger kvar där, kan vi ligga kvar där och ha en sten att spela på?
Ja, det kan vi göra.
Ja.
Alltså
Jag är helt
Alltså
med.
jag
Jag gillar den där
kan gilla
också.
den och göra den. Och sen ifall att vi tar på garden så är ju inte hela världen. Alltså det ligger redan en gard här så vi vill bara flytta den.
Jag gillar den också. Den där såg ut att ligga lite bättre uppifrån. Så
Aha.
det är vilket ni känner för. Men jag kan gilla chappen på den.
Ja.
Eller även bara att slå
Ja, men jag tycker jag ser lite för lite av den liksom. Eller gör inte det?
Jag tror att det är typ att du har en tredjedel typ.
Kolla från hack i sådana fall hur du ser.
Okej,
Jag
men
kan gilla den också.
Jag kan gilla att köra den här, alltså öppna 2 vägar in till.
Kolla hur den ser ut.
Ja. Sen om du kan skippa hem den ner mot den i ringen.
Most of the discussion there and the call from Margareta Sigfridsson was to make a play into the house, try and make the nose hit the stone in the house, but in the end, I think they just realised they don't see enough to make it. And they'll be peeling the guard.
I think it's a skip, but at the end, you want that front of the house open. So even if they split the one out the house, Switzerland could put a better one round. So.
Does do enough there, I think.
She's opened it. She's going to be left with that draw yet again.
Bella tror jag 15, så då tycker jag 15. Jag tror 15 är bra. Alltså förra klockan 15, men den var ganska...
Jag får dra nu då.
Vad hade du på Bellas där? 10? Jag hade 10. Ja.
Teruglaufslee,
Also ich würde entweder können wir hinter Guard, gleiche Höhe, oder wir spielen den gleichen vorher, aber bis vor 12, von der Linie her. Bis vor 12. Also entweder Länge oder Takeout. Das ist eigentlich die Frage. Wenn wir sie auf Länge oder auf Takeout zwingen.
Also ich würde sie auf Länge zwingen, ehrlich gesagt.
Dann wäre das in der vor 12.
Bitchen, bis du hier kommst, ist sie schon recht unter Druck.
Ich meine, du bist schon ganz im Vierfuß.
Also spielen wir den.
Kannst du auch halb schauen, das lässt sie auch schon.
Ja.
Ja.
Wie findet ihr?
Ich finde das nicht schlecht, ja.
Finde ich gut. Ja, stimmt, das ist gut. Du musst ja auch eine Länge perfekt bringen.
Wie? Ja.
The draw is the call for Switzerland.
Gleich wie vorher.
Looking to come almost, but not necessarily fully buried around the guard. Full forefoot. Give as little room as possible for Sweden for they to score the one. Played a beautiful one in the 10th end. Very similar situation. This time pretty good. Almost fully in the 4.
Yeah, it's a great draw.
14-2.
Okay. 14-2 på deras.
No doubt in the mind of Isabella Verano here. Will play the draw, try and outdraw Selena Vechonka. 14.2 seconds the Swedish girls had on that draw by Vechonka. So they know
Lite mindre.
the speed down this path.
Över tror vi fart. 15.
Came up a foot deep for the win in the 10th end. They led by 1. Now a second chance to put this game away and win a second game, Sweden.
Jenny.
Sweepers are happy at the moment to be fully forfeit.
Oh, needing to feather off this wide red. No. In the end, will curl up and look at that, will cover the pin. Beautiful draw again. Not really taking advantage of the sweepers, the power girls, but this time pulls up in time for Isabella Verano and the win for Team Sweden. Looked very much control all the way through. And let Switzerland back in the game. It's got an extra end. Finally is able to close the game out, Sweden. 7-6 final score in favour of Sweden. Ninth end. A chance to play a double for two. Svetlana Vichonka looking for just off the nose hit. Catches it thinner than thought out. But the double comes off and the shooter sticks around. They score two anyway. Just trailing by one as they head into the 10th end. Beautiful draw by Svetlana Vichonka. Not leaving much room for Vrano to make the draw for the win. Does slip just 1 foot too deep. Switzerland ties the game with that steal. Pushes the game into the extra end. Very similar situation as in the 10th end. Good draw by Vichonka again, this time leaving just a bit more room. And again, no sweeping, but this time the draw settles down on the button for the win for Vrano and Team Sweden. They win it 7 shots to 6. Here we see the final scores for this session 2 in the women's competition. Korea picking up a win against Norway. Russia edging out the United States of America. Canada with an 8-5 win over Turkey. And Scotland just picking up their win 4 shots to 3 in the extra end over China. And this is how the teams stack up now after 2 sessions. Canada, Russia and Sweden on top with 2 wins. And we'll take a look a little further down. We see Switzerland now dropping to 0-2, needing to really up their game a little bit if they're going to contend for a playoff spot. Usually 6 wins would give you a playoff spot. 5 might give you a tiebreaker. Definitely can't afford to lose too many games to Swiss down there with China and Turkey. I believe we have skip Isabella Vrano for Sweden.
Isabella, congratulations. How do you feel that game went for you tonight?
I feel like we played really good in the start of the game, and then we had a quite big lead in the game, but they fought back and it went to an extra end, and it was good. I had 2 chances today.
And when you scored the 3 and you were 3 up in the game, did you feel at that stage you were in control?
Yeah, in control, but it's a long game, so nothing is done until the game is done. So we have to keep on the whole game. Yeah.
So first day at the World Championships, 2 wins. You must be happy with your team's performance so far.
Yeah, absolutely. After all the flight chaos when we got here and no practice and everything, we are really happy with 2 wins.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, that concludes the first day of the World Junior Curling Championships here in Aberdeen, Scotland. Lots more curling to come, of course, from Curl Aberdeen. Just getting started here at the World Juniors. Stay tuned for lots more exciting curling.